Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are dialing in from today. Super excited to be delivering another Decrypting Crypto live stream for you. This is number 7, and we have got some exciting content for you today. So, look, without further ado, we're going to jump straight into the news highlights. So, first one's going to be on this season's NBA cryptocurrency sponsorship spending records a 7,300 increase. So if you've watched the first game of the NBA on finals on Thursday, you likely spotted a few crypto industry company logos along the way, including Coinbase, Crypto.com, and FTX. There's been more than 7,300% rise in crypto sponsorship spending over the previous season. And in a statement from the global managing director, Peter Latz, said that the surge in NBA crypto sponsorship revenue is like nothing we have ever seen. Noting that it now represents 1/3 of the league's new deals. So as you can see, growing advertisements and sponsorship deals from the crypto companies across a range of sports actually is showing that the industry is maturing, and the influx of sponsorship in sports could definitely be one of the catalysts that really kick off the next bull run. The next one is on Russian industrial behemoth Rostec has announced a blockchain-based SWIFT alternative. So it's a state-owned organization, Rostec, and it's built a platform called Cells, which uses blockchain technology to facilitate international settlements between Russia and its partners via digital currencies. So Cells is intended to be an alternative to the global payment messaging system SWIFT, from which a number of Russian banking institutions have been disconnected as part of the Western sanctions. So the system is expected to process up to 100,000 transactions per second, with the option to increase its capacity in the future. And they're basically going to be able to build a whole bunch of other things on this platform as well, like data storage, web applications, digital passport, etc. So with all the sanctions, Russia's effectively unplugging itself from the traditional financial system. So, and they're bypassing all these sanctions by using blockchain technology. So it's only inevitable, really, that the SWIFT system is going to be replaced by crypto and blockchain alternatives. I mean, Bitcoin already does a nice job of this if you're using the Lightning Network, which is something that has been implemented into Twitter. Next one is Bitcoin to become one of the greatest assets after inflation slows. So a cold chill has settled over the cryptocurrency market, with the flagship digital asset Bitcoin falling around 35% since January. So as a result, many people are left wondering how deep into a crypto winter the market is going to go, and whether there are any signs of spring on the way. He does go on to talk about the fact that we're likely to be in a crypto winter for a while to come, and Bitcoin and crypto will be one of the most powerful asset classes on the other side. So we've been mentioning it quite a bit recently, that we probably are going into a bit of a bear market. You don't know how long that's going to last, but if it is an extended period, just understand that we're going into one of the best buying opportunities that you'll ever have in your lifetime, potentially in this bear market. So many people are going to lose interest through this bear market when their portfolios are down, and they're going to be too scared to take advantage of this opportunity. But it is really when the true generational wealth is built. So we're actually running a special event on this in just over a week that focuses on exactly how you can take advantage of this rare opportunity to exponentially grow your portfolio. So you can see there the link breakoutnow.co/event. I'll talk about this a bit later as well. The last one from the news updates: cryptocurrency crash causes trillions of dollars worth of damage. So this was actually an article and a video thing on 60 Minutes Australia. So that's an Australian television news magazine, and also on TV as well. And they've said over 1 million Australians invested in crypto, and the majority have taken a pretty significant hit, particularly the mum and dad investors who joined at the peak of the hype last year. For the big players, the losses are simply staggering. Someone lost 150K when Luna crashed. Some other Russian Australian guy lost around 600 mil in this bear market as well. So guys, if you don't know what you're doing, crypto bear markets are brutal and can completely wipe out your wealth, especially those who are not aware of the market cycles in crypto. So education is critically important, and also making sure you're part of the right community. And it is something we're also going to touch on in our upcoming event as well. The other thing to mention as well, a lot of people put a lot of money into Luna and stablecoin UST, and they weren't really invested in other projects. So unfortunately, they lost pretty much all of their wealth because they're investing in just one altcoin. So that gives you a lesson of the importance of diversification. Also, being able to exit out of projects, when there is some euphoria in the market. Cool, mate. That's it. Over the Twitter highlights.
Thank you, Michael. Alrighty, guys. So CZ talked about the BNB price. If you don't know, the Binance exchange has its own coin called BNB, and he's obviously just pumping his own tires, saying that the price continuously goes up even when we're in a bear market. This is just one of the lows, and it's never a bad time to invest. Now, his coin I would consider an altcoin, but it also has a lot of use cases. So it's one of those one of the coins that I hold in my portfolio, because I do believe, being the biggest exchange, there's only upwards and onwards with the Binance ecosystem, and I've invested heavily in them ever since 4 years ago. I did get it around $3, so this was between here and here, which is pretty good. Moving on to Pomp. So bear markets create Bitcoin maximalists. So basically, this is where he's talking about how most people, sell their altcoins, and we tend to see altcoins suffer against Bitcoin. And most people either park their capital into stable coins and also into Bitcoin. And I want to quickly just show you something pretty cool. If you guys have a second, head over to CoinMarketCap, head over to cryptocurrencies, head over then to historical snapshots. And what you can do is you can click on any date here, and it will show you the top 10 coins at that time. So if we quickly jump into 2013, in June, you can see that this was the top 10 coins at the time: Bitcoin, Litecoin, Namecoin, Peercoin, Novacoin, Devcoin, Terracoin, Feathercoin, Freyacoin, CHN coin. Now, I'll be honest, I only know 2 of these coins, right? I have invested in Bitcoin and Litecoin in the past, but the top 10 continuously change. And what Pomp is talking about is most people exit their altcoins, and most of these altcoins, the top 10 especially, they change over year to year. They're a great way to maximize profits, but then I personally utilize those profits, put them back into Bitcoin or stable coins, and rinse and repeat. I get ready for the next bull run. Moving on to the next tweet by Lark Davis. So ever since the recent crash began, miners have been selling their Bitcoin. Now, we're under $30,000, which basically means a lot of miners are now not in profit in order to, produce Bitcoin. So a lot of smaller miners are turning off their machines. We are close to having what's called a miner capitulation, where a lot of miners need to turn off their machines because it's just not profitable, because they are a business. So look out for something drastic, I believe, in the price of Bitcoin in the coming weeks or months. And that's it for the Twitter highlights. Over to you, Wasim.
Thank you very much, Matty. And look, for the first one we have today is Dubai property developer completes retail deals worth over $50 million in crypto. So this large developer called, I missed the name, Damka. Let me just open it up here. So Damak is the name of the company. So what they've done since beginning of this year, they started experimenting with making deals and taking remittances through cryptocurrencies, mainly Bitcoin and Ethereum. And to date, they've done over $50 million worth of deals that have been paid for by cryptocurrency. So what they're doing at the moment, they are using a trusted intermediary that facilitates the transaction and then converts it to either dinar or dollars for them. This just shows more and more companies are doing exactly what Michael said earlier. They're unplugging from the traditional financial system and looking for other ways in which they can allow more and more people to pay for services. And as more and more people get into cryptocurrencies, they want to use them for everyday things. We're seeing now more and more companies allowing that to happen. The other thing that Damka is looking for at the moment is incorporating metaverse and NFTs. And the biggest challenge they have is just getting an older generation of decision makers to be able to understand this new technology. And we know this happens with any new technology. We've seen it with the internet, we've seen it with mobile phones, and it's just a matter of time before Bitcoin becomes and cryptocurrency becomes widely used. Over to the next one, where we're still over in Dubai, where the retail giant Majid Al Futtaim, which has about 29 shopping centers in the Middle East and Northern Africa with over 175 million visitors every year are now looking at accepting cryptocurrencies payments. So what they've done is they've partnered up with Binance, which is the same one that Matt was talking about earlier, which is the largest crypto exchange in the world, and they've partnered with them to use Binance Pay to allow cryptocurrencies to be able to be used in their shopping centers. So we're starting to see more and more countries and more places where people can spend their crypto. One of the biggest things that we always get here at Breakout Solutions when people come to us is, well, how do I use my crypto? So we focus on educating people on how to do that. There are multiple ways to do it through crypto debit cards and so forth. And now we're starting to see major shopping retailers around the world allowing everyday retailers to come in and use cryptocurrency for payments. Let's move over to the next one, please, Maddie. And this one is the US Senator Loomis bills integrating crypto into the financial system to be unveiled this week. So about a couple of months ago or so, I can't remember exactly how long it was, we had President Biden put out the executive order for research and development into crypto regulation. The American public has been very, very vocal that they do want crypto to become mainstream. We've got many states that are fighting or competing amongst each other to become the crypto hubs. And this is the first time that we're seeing a bill coming in where they're looking at creating new organizations to regulate cryptocurrencies, moving away from traditional regulators like the SEC and whatnot. And they're looking at creating new organizations that are going to look at cryptocurrencies to make it more accessible and safer for everybody. This is another big step from for the world's largest economy, the United States, that are now moving forward and into regulating crypto. The other thing that the United States is looking into is how the United States government can profit from Bitcoin mining. So we're starting to see the dominoes falling. We're starting to see more and more countries looking at crypto as a solid investment class and be more adopted in everyday use. And I think we've got one more, which is buyers can now buy bunkers using Bitcoin in Colombia. So the largest oil manufacturer in Colombia is now accepting Bitcoin as payment for oil. So we saw, as Michael said, with the Russia looking accepting Bitcoin payment for oil and energy and other resources. Now we're starting to see this in Colombia. Now, what this is just signaling is we're seeing more and more of this Bitcoin adoption happening in Latin America and some of these other countries where they've been, traditionally they haven't had the best economies, and we're going to look at El Salvador today and see what Bitcoin has done there. But what we're seeing in Colombia is now people can buy barrels and bunkers of oil using Bitcoin, which shows more and more adoption happening every single day. Over to you for the...
Thanks, Wasim. Alrighty, guys, we're going to quickly dive into the charts now. So this is the DXY. Now, after a little bit of a pullback, we have seen the DXY bounce off the 50 EMA, and this is probably... as I've spoken about before, it has an inverse relationship with Bitcoin. So when this comes down, Bitcoin goes up. When this goes up, Bitcoin goes down. And over the last 24 hours, if you've noticed, Bitcoin did dump from 31,750 to roughly 29,000 over the last 24 hours. So it's no secret now that people are looking at these charts in order to make better decisions in their trading. And this is one of the charts that I'd be looking at consistently if I'm a retail investor, to know exactly when is the best time to maybe purchase some Bitcoin, especially in these volatile times. You can make some really quick 1 to 10% returns by just spot holding and selling. If we move out of Bitcoin, here is the dump that I spoke about. So we found a little bit of support on this trend line. We're back into this value area range. And what we did is we lost the point of control of this entire sideways range. So what this tells me right now is Bitcoin is looking quite weak. If by the close of today, we cannot reclaim the point of control, which is at 29,700, I fear the Bitcoin will come back down to test the previous lows right here around 28,700. And if things don't look up very fast, we may even test back here the May 12th wick, which was down at 25,000. ETH has had also a pretty terrible time. If we are unable to hold this 1,700 spot price action right here, I can foresee some support roughly around 1,540 and then possibly 1,400. So not only is ETH looking quite terrible, but so is most of the altcoin market. Things will turn around, so don't despair if you are watching this. I don't think that I'm trying to spread some FUD. This is just part of the entire crypto cycle. If you've been around for a long time, you know how this works. And if you haven't been around for a long time, we see massive. If you can't ride these waves, then you shouldn't be prepared for some of these pullbacks, because it's completely normal for people to take money off the table, to take their profits, and then start getting ready for the next season. Lastly, the crypto fear and greed index is still coming up a little bit. We did see as low as 11, but it's always a good time to DCA when the greed and the fear factor is less than sort of 15 right now. So right now, most retail investors are probably dollar cost averaging. I personally believe that we're going to probably see lower, so we will see a better opportunity, but in the short term we may see some sideways to upward action, and hopefully we can at least get back up to about 35,000 before we sort of roll over in the next couple of weeks. That's it for the market update. Back over to you, Michael.
Awesome. So guys, we have our next exciting event locked in, which is just over a week's time. In this event, we're going to reveal the 5 steps that you need to leverage digital assets to create wealth like the super rich do, without a lot of time and technical know-how. So there's going to be heaps of secrets being divulged here, guys. The knowledge on how to apply traditional wealth creation principles to the digital asset space, strategies on how to exponentially grow your crypto portfolio, how to then leverage that to generate hundreds of dollars a day in passive income, potentially thousands, and how to protect the gains you've actually worked so hard to create. So these are the secrets that I've used to more than 20x my crypto portfolio since 2017 and earn more passive income in a month than some people earn in a year. Also, secrets from Matt is also on the line. We actually did a presentation to existing members just recently, and the feedback was phenomenal. So you're definitely in for a treat on this. You definitely don't want to miss the event. We're also going to be giving away over 60,000 US in prizes to attendees. So guys, it's definitely an event you don't want to miss. So jump on and get signed up for that.
Thank you very much, guys. And today I want to do a special segment around El Salvador. I know most of you have heard me speak about El Salvador over and over again. President Nayib Bukele is one of my, is someone I really look up to, and he's one of my unsung heroes in my opinion. He's going to go down in history as someone who looked after his country and did something against what the world was thinking at the time. El Salvador about a year ago announced that they are going to they're going to put in a bill to make Bitcoin legal tender. Now, it was around September that the bill actually became law and Bitcoin became legal tender. So we've only really got about 6 months or 9 months, I should say. We've got about 9 months of what has happened over the 9 months in El Salvador. But it was a time where, the IMF and a lot of the other countries were telling them not to do it, warning against it. There was a lot of negative news around El Salvador doing it. So what I want to look at today is what has happened over the past year with El Salvador taking on Bitcoin as legal tender. Now, one of the first things that we want to talk about is one of the biggest promises that Bitcoin has and cryptocurrency has is financial inclusion. Now, if you know anything about the United Nations sustainability goals, the #1 goal they have on there is to eradicate poverty. Now, to eradicate poverty, we need one thing. We need financial inclusion. Now, financial inclusion just means having a basic bank account. And alarmingly, we have 1.7 billion people around the world that don't even have basic banking accounts. So that means all of these people are still living in the cash system. They can't get online. They can't buy things online like most of us do. So they don't even have access to that. In El Salvador, only 29% of people had basic bank accounts, basic banking services. And the reason why banks don't actually open up more and more of these infrastructure is because it costs them a lot of money to build them, to get the infrastructure out to these people. And these people generally don't have a lot of money, so the banks can't make money out of it. With Bitcoin and with cryptocurrencies, anybody with a mobile phone and an internet connection can straight away be able to get access to Bitcoin and then be able to trade, on an international level. Now, since the adoption of Bitcoin in El Salvador, over 46% of the population now have Bitcoin wallets, which is a rise of about 20% higher than, or about 17% higher than the 29% prior to Bitcoin, which is a big move for a country to be able to have more and more people that have basic banking needs. The other thing that we want to look at is also what has happened in El Salvador. And let me just open up my screen. The other one is the El Salvador, the El Salvador GDP. So over the past year, the El Salvador GDP has been growing in double digits. Now, this shows the health of the economy, and a lot of factors come into it. One of the big factors that has helped that is that Bitcoin has reduced the cost of remittances. So the cost of sending money and receiving money has gone down from what used to be almost 50% of the transaction to almost down to 0% now. And this has allowed more transactions, allowed more people to transact all over the country and internationally, and allowed more investment to come into the country, and therefore has risen the GDP of El Salvador. And lastly, the other thing that has benefited from Bitcoin adoption has been tourism, because a lot of the the OGs or the people that have been in cryptocurrencies for a while, they've got a lot of money to splash, so they usually go out and they do a lot of tourism, and they go around and they have seen this in El Salvador after the pandemic. Number of factors have helped tourism come back, and one of those big factors, according to the El Salvador tourism minister, was the adoption of Bitcoin has allowed more cryptocurrency enthusiasts to come into El Salvador, because now they can spend their Bitcoin in any store that they want. They can buy anything they want in El Salvador with it. So this has been a short highlight of what has happened in El Salvador over the past 9 months, and what effect Bitcoin has had to this country that was still is a poorer country compared to the others, but now they're starting to take steps forward to be able to be major world players. Over to you, Michael.
Yeah, guys, I just saw a question come through that I thought I'd highlight up here from Pat. Pat's actually an existing member of ours here. How bullish are you on Solana? So look, full transparency, Solana is part of our hodl portfolio. They do have some technical challenges to get through, though. I will add. Someone put a comment in there to say too many outages, not trustworthy. So there is a lot of VC money behind Solana. So the question is, are they going to be able to actually engineer themselves out of that bit of a rut that they're in? Look, we still think it's a good project. We still think it's got a lot of potential. But look, it's definitely got some challenges that they're going to have to overcome if it's going to get any sort of mainstream adoption. So I thought we'd answer a question there just to kind of show everyone that we are watching, we are looking at those questions, and feel free to send them in future shows. I think for this one, we'll probably start to wrap this one up now. So let's bring everyone back in, and so. Look, any final thoughts, guys? What do we think? What are we feeling like is going to be on the cards this week?
I think, Bitcoin's in a bit of a predicament right now. As I mentioned in the market analysis, if we don't see some positive sentiment, it's going to get pretty ugly pretty fast. So hopefully we do get some good news. All we need is a big player in the space. It could be eBay, it could be Amazon, it could be Apple, that says they're releasing new crypto payments on their website, something like that. We need some sort of positivity to at least get ourselves back into the 30,000s and hold that. But as I've mentioned in the past live streams, I don't think we've seen the bottom yet. And any sort of relief rally just keeps getting pushed down at the moment. So things aren't looking too bright in the short term.
Yeah, look, I tend to agree, mate. I think we might have some of these small pumps here and there, but I do think we haven't seen the bottom. And I'm building up all of my stablecoin ready to take advantage of, this great next wave that is ahead of us. So just be patient, guys. Dollar cost averaging at the moment, it's not the worst idea. Just understand that these coins can drop a lot further down. Even if something's down 60, 70%, it still can go down another 60, 70%. I think when Luna was on its way down, it went down 90%, like 6 times or something. I think some people freaked out. So just make sure you keep some money in store and be patient. That's probably the main message I want to get across at this point in time. What about you, Wasim?
Look, for me, I always say, when in doubt, zoom out. In crypto, whenever you're in doubt, zoom out. We are going through a very tough time, not just in crypto, but all over the world. There's a lot of economic factors. There's a lot of things happening. We've got the war. We've got supply chain issues. We've got, people saying that there's going to be hunger and famine. There's going to be, challenges with food supply all around the world. There's a drought in America. There's a lot happening in the macro sense, which is causing not just crypto, but a lot of the financial markets to be on a downturn. I'm still bullish in the long term. I believe crypto is going to have a huge impact in the world that we live in. It's going to be a major player in the world and where we're going. So for me, I always look at what's happening underneath the surface, and I look for the long term. I'm not in this for the short term. And those people that are in it for the short term, they're the ones that are worried. So that's where I come from. I don't have, I know there's a lot of challenges in the short term, but in the long term, I know we're going to see some very, very sunny days.
Well said, mate. Well said. All right. Well, guys, let's wrap it up. So thanks for tuning in for this episode as well. And again, we're live on 5 p.m. every Tuesday, Australian Standard Time, which is this show. And we're live again next at 7:30 a.m. on Friday. So we'll catch you then.
See you guys.
See you later, guys.